I mean, it's been a crazy week. It's been a lot to take in. Trending on Twitter is always not the best thing for me. I'm quite a private person. But it's exciting. We don't really know what the future holds for Spider-Man. All I know is that it's not the end of my run, and we'll continue to make great movies, and I love making it, and I hope the fans will continue to love watching them. Who knows what's going to happen, but I do know that it's going to be great.
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. I've gotten a lot of requests for Spider-Man, Marvel, Sony MCU updates. There's also this new conspiracy floating around about a supposed Spider-Man Venom deleted scene that they filmed and Marvel forced Sony to delete, so I included that clip in this video. Tom Holland, Kevin Feige doing a bunch of interviews, so we'll break it down. We're doing a new round of the Avengers Endgame and Spider-Man Far From Home Blu-ray giveaways. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave your best Spider-Man Venom theory in the video. There have been a lot of conspiracy theories about Sony engineering this fallout with the deal because they're so thirsty to have Tom Holland's Spider-Man in their Venomverse, so I'll try to explain what's going on, what both parties have said. There have been a couple clips with Kevin Feige talking about it, with Tom Holland talking about it, the other Marvel actors, the Sony people. So number 5, Spider-Man is the biggest cash cow character Sony has ever had. When they were still sharing the character with Marvel, there were still stipulations about what they could do with Tom Holland's Spider-Man while the Marvel movies were still going on. Particularly, Sony could not turn around and put Tom Holland in the first Venom movie while they were still doing Avengers Endgame and Spider-Man Far From Home that were still coming out after the Venom movie. Sony wants to build their own version of the MCU, so Venom was their next best option. Just one of the biggest fan favorite characters, seemed like a slam dunk, but they were forced to try and make a Venom origin story that did not involve Spider-Man at all, which initially seemed kind of weird. And there are some conspiracy theorists out there that might believe there's some deleted scene of Spider-Man showing up during that movie, but watching it and watching all the behind the scenes, I think it's pretty clear that they never intended for Spider-Man to be in that movie. And Kevin Feige separately never wanted anything to do with Sony's take on the Venom character.
First of all, Venom stands alone. It has its own universe, do you know what I mean? And it was already a complete standalone piece. And when I read it, I'm quite mercenary and quite selfish in that aspect. I'm very, very happy to have a standalone character within the Marvel context and world, but all to myself, so I'm kind of greedy in that aspect. But at the end of the day, that's kind of above my pay grade, and also it's not my daddy's tractor, so I don't know where it fits in the grand scheme of things, but I would never rule anything out.
There was a comedian that went on the Collider podcast this week claiming that there is a deleted scene of Spider-Man in the Venom movie that Marvel forced them to take out. And there were reports that Kevin Feige did actually do some work on the Venom movie on the DL, and Sony just never said anything about it. But I'll explain what I think is going on with that. This is the clip of him talking about that supposed deleted Spider-Man scene from the first Venom movie.
And actually, it's benefiting Sony, too, because people saw Venom because there was rumors Tom Holland was in it. And I'll tell you the truth, Tom Holland did film a scene for Venom. I found this out. Marvel saw the movie and saw that and was like, take him out. Take the scene out. So Tom Holland did. Peter Parker was in Venom, not Spider-Man, Peter Parker.
What's making you say that?
I got sources on behind it.
Listening to that, it's easy to buy into big conspiracy theories, but I don't think this person had anything to do with the making of the movie or any real big behind-the-scenes knowledge. So unless I see some more compelling evidence, I don't believe that Tom Holland ever filmed a scene for the Venom movie. Maybe for a little while they talked about including some more direct Spider-Man references, but I think that's about as far as that went. But number 4, never say never, I guess. When Kevin Feige was asked about Venom in the MCU while doing press for Spider-Man Far From Home, this is what he said, and I'm just quoting him directly. I think that a Venom Spider-Man crossover is probably up to Sony. Sony has both of those characters and has Venom in their world. I don't know what their plans are for another Venom movie or if they're doing that, but it seems likely at some point. There's a lot of political talk in there because Kevin Feige definitely knew that they were making Venom 2. Amy Pascal also definitely knew they were making Venom 2. But a little while ago, people asked her about it, and she said there's no timeline for the movie. But then turn around, and just a week or two ago, they announced that Andy Serkis has been hired as the director, and they're going to start shooting later this year. So very clearly, there's a lot that they're not telling us. But what Kevin Feige was saying is that Sony had been thirsty for Spider-Man versus Venom in a movie this whole time. They were just waiting for the right opportunity after Spider-Man movies were done. But 3, I don't believe the conspiracy theory that Sony wanted this outcome Spider-Man leaving the MCU just to legitimize their Venom Spider-Verse franchise, but I do think it came up in negotiations. And had the first Venom movie bombed at the box office, that would have only made things worse for Spider-Man in the MCU. Then Sony would have been like, we really need this crown jewel Spider-Man character. We need some of that money. Spider-Man has always been Sony's biggest box office earner, and the way that Kevin Feige has talked about the character in the past, he was meant to be the crown jewel in Kevin Feige's cap too. Billion-dollar franchises at the MCU, yet Spider-Man was the one character that he was really after. This clip pretty clearly tells you how important Spider-Man was to the MCU.
Bringing Spider-Man into the universe where he belongs, as all the fans know, interacting with the other characters for the very first time, and it seemed like the right time to do it.
Spider-Man is the biggest Marvel character. He is the jewel in the crown. Such an amazing icon. He is a very different type of hero because he is, quite simply, the greatest superhero of all time.
So 2, as of right now, Sony is making Spider-Man 3 without Marvel. They're moving forward on their timeline. They're going to release it summer 2021. The film will not take place in the MCU continuity, but per Tom Holland's comments and Sony's comments separately, it will carry forward the story that they set up during Spider-Man Far From Home, minus a lot of MCU characters and references. There was the scene with Spider-Man and Happy on the plane where they talk about missing Iron Man, and Happy says he wouldn't have done what he did if he didn't think that you would be around to carry his legacy forward. When Kevin Feige and Marvel were still going to make Spider-Man 3 and Spider-Man 4, that moment was actually going to be very important for informing where the franchise would be going, but now it seems like that's not the case. They're not going to erase what happened during Spider-Man Homecoming, the other Avengers films, Captain America Civil War. They just won't be referencing it a whole lot, and you won't see Happy Hogan in that next movie. All the Marvel actors, even Jon Favreau, were talking about how disappointed they were, but they do seem kind of hopeful that things will work out eventually.
Well, I guess Happy's single again. No. After all that time, it took 10 years for him to get into a good relationship.
Yeah.
It's still early days, and I'm as a fan, I'm cautiously hopeful that something will come together because I think all the fans want to see those characters together. I don't mean Happy and May. I mean Spidey with the MCU. So it's still early days, and things. You don't always. What you read isn't always indicative of where things are at now. Mm-hmm. So I hopefully I'll find out more while I'm here. But as a fan, I'm hopeful that cautiously optimistic, holding out hope that this isn't the final chapter of that story.
Separately, James Gunn also talked about this Marvel-Sony Spider-Man drama as a lover's quarrel, temporary setback. Spider-Man would be back in the MCU eventually, but there's no clip of him talking about it, and he's not part of those discussions, so that's just him speculating on what's going to happen. But number one, I've seen a lot of you commenting about this. There were rumors this week about Tom Holland filming a scene for Venom 2 this week, and I think that they were fake because they haven't even started shooting the movie yet, so how could he have filmed a cameo when they haven't even started Venom 2 yet? But I do think that they're going to leave room at the end of that movie for a Spider-Man reference. They wouldn't film that to the last possible second, shrouded in deepest secrecy in a bunker somewhere in Atlanta or wherever they decide to film Venom 2. Andy Serkis was just hired as the director, and he was hyping up the movie, saying that they'd be taking the Venom character in a completely new direction from the previous film. But when he was talking about that, Spider-Man was still in the MCU. It was before the big deal fallout. So I think that that's confirmation, at least initially, that Spider-Man was never meant to be part of their Venom 2 plan. But because of what's happened recently, that could change between now and when they start filming the movie later this year. But it's still meant to be Venom vs. Carnage, so at most, there would be a Spider-Man post-credit scene of some kind where he shows up in a news broadcast or is mentioned by someone. Spider-Man 3 is him on the run, so it does give Sony a logical reason to take the character out of New York City and get him and Venom together in Venom 3 or Spider-Man 4. But as of right now, they tend to keep the movies relatively simple, so whatever Venom vs. Carnage or Venom 2 is going to be, I don't think that's going to change that much because of this Spider-Man fallout, and they're not going to shoehorn too much Venom stuff into Spider-Man 3 all of a sudden. Tom Holland did say they already have the story locked down for that. They've already pitched it to Sony, and I've already done a couple videos about that, so I'll link that at the end of this. Funny enough, Sony is re-releasing that extended director's cut of Spider-Man Far From Home in theaters today. It's actually happening tonight. I will do a video about the new footage that they show off in case you don't want to go see that. And even though the timing does seem kind of unfortunate, I don't think that Marvel secretly leaked the news about this fallout with the deal to torpedo their re-release. It is fun to try and watch their interviews to see who might be lying about something and what they're trying to hide, what they're not saying. So if there are any big questions that you guys have about this or Spider-Man videos you want me to make about what's happening in the future, just let me know in the comments. Congratulations, Jason Etkin. You're the giveaway winner for my last big Marvel video. Please email me on the About page of my channel so I can get your details. Everyone, click here for my breakdown of the new Avatar: The Last Airbender Netflix footage that just leaked of them filming Episode 1. And click here for my breakdown of the Marvel Phase 4 teaser from this past weekend. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.